Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody out tonight, coming out to learn about a program that we call A Healthier You. And it gives me honor to be sharing the event tonight with a good friend of mine, Zebulon Thomas, who is a personal coach, personal development. He's done a lot of work. He's an author. Great respect. He touches people's lives, and that's really what it's all about, is helping people be able to find that you that you're truly looking for. So everybody, please help me welcome Zebulon Thomas.
Thank you, Shan. Thank you. So I'm glad you guys are able to make it tonight. And what we're going to talk about is really redefining your life and creating a healthier you. And I'll tell you what, I've been on a mission for the past decade, and that has been to really find out who I am and my true nature, my core, and also what creates a well-balanced quality of life. What is the real tools that will really help you have that vitality, that energy, and live a good life? And so, that's that roller coaster, and I call it a roller coaster because it's been up and down trying to find these tools. I've been all over the place, anywhere from diets to new workouts to all the different things going on because, I want to feed my mind, but not just with anything. I want to feed my mind with the right education, the right stuff. So now, my hopes for you guys is to listen to what I have to say and take it in and find out what works for you. I'm not saying everything I'm going to say tonight is going to serve you to the best that you want. But there might be different traits that I have that you want. And that's important because I know when I was searching for this well-balanced quality of life, to change my life, to go from where I was before and to get to where I am now, there were some things. So, one of my big mentors was Tony Robbins. I used to listen to him. I'd see, late night when I was, I had nothing to my name. I just had a book bag with a couple stuff in it, and I was crashing on a friend's couch. And he had a television, and I'm watching this crazy guy's infomercial, and I'm thinking, wow, look at this guy. This guy's crazy. This guy's awesome. He's got this energy. And that's what turned me on to him, is the fact that I wanted his energy. I really didn't care about what he was saying at the time, because I really wanted to have that energy that he had. And so it wasn't until probably a couple months later when I was going through this stage of my life where someone gave me CDs with his stuff on it. And even when I was listening to his CDs, it wasn't that I was listening to what he was saying. I was like, what is he not saying? Because usually when I work with an individual now, what they're saying is not as important as what they're not saying to me. Because that is where what they're really trying to give off is there. Because they're hiding a lot. Not that they want to, but subliminally there's something going on blocking them. So we have to find that. So with Tony, I started looking at his stuff and I was like, there'd be a bird in the background or something I'd hear. I'm like, oh, he's at his house. I'm like, wow, that's great. Or I'd hear this energy and I'm like, I want that type of production in my voice. So then there were some other guys I looked up to, and like Wayne Dyer was a big inspiration in my life because he had that wisdom. He had that calm, relaxed lifestyle. And his books really helped pull me to the person I needed to be, that better you, that newer you. And it really started opening my wisdom that's within me, and wisdom within all of us. Every one of you guys have wisdom that is deep inside your DNA. I mean, this profound knowledge and intelligence that you can pull out of your system at any point in time if you just take the time to tap into it. And it's so important to do that. And so we're going to get into some of those things on how to do that. But along with my transformation, how I redefine my life and why I wrote the book and did the program and got all these crazy signs up here and why we're here tonight is because I went through a couple things in my life, a couple of events that had happened, and really made me have to sit down and I think, what is life about? What is my life about? And what can I do to help influence the people around me so that they can influence people around them so that we can start to make a change in not just the world, but in humanity and how we live on this planet, how we exist together, how we evolve together, how we grow and start sharing more love. And, when you're faced with different things, like, I don't know how many of you guys have lost loved ones. I'm sure a lot of you have been through this stage in your life. I had a series of events happen in 2010 that really had me sit down. And I lost 3 family members within a couple of months. And in fact, 2 of those family members, a grandfather and an uncle, within a week apart. And in that time of losing those family members, you're shooken up. You're trying to figure out what is going on here. You're trying to take in the good and the bad, and you're trying to figure out, what's this loss going to mean to me? And that's what really helped me get through it out of all my family members, is the fact that I said, what is this really going to mean to me? And it was like it was started to grow as this happened, these series of events. And then, my wife, my fiance at the time, she, went through appendicitis right in the middle of all this. So now, my support line's down. And so now I don't have anyone to lean on because I got to be strong for her. So when that was going on, I'm thinking, okay, let's get her together. Let's get her back. Let me go, take care of the viewing and all the stuff and pay my respect to my family members. And on the way to the viewing the following day, my wife's home. She's good now. And I go to the viewing, and that night I'm driving back, and I get rear-ended in the intersection. Someone hits me in my car. So, people always say when it rains, it pours. Well, at the time, I'm thinking, wow, they are so right, because I'm sitting in my car, and I'm thinking, I don't want a part of this. I start trying to take off. My car can't move. I'm a little messed up. But immediately, I snapped into survival mode, and I was like, wait a minute. Let me check on people. Make sure everyone's okay who was involved in this. It's not about, oh, I'm mad at you, I'm mad at you. I started practicing exactly what I've learned over the years. And it was those things that people would tell me that I wasn't paying attention to. Like when my grandfather used to tell me all these things, how to be nice to people. And he would really show me with not just words, but with affection on how to really treat individuals. And these are the times when he would come over and he would say, how you doing, all this stuff. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's great. And I was too busy. I was too busy. I wasn't paying attention. But my mind was eavesdropping on little bits and pieces of information in which your guys' minds do the same. And so this information came out in this series of events. And it was like, where did this come from? Where did this side of me of survival come from? Where did this side of me of passion and compassion for the other people come from? And it was in that moments where I said, you know what? This is not the end, and this is not a disturbing time in my life. This is a new beginning. This is a new journey, and this is a growth process for me. So I took these saddened events, and I turned them into empowering moments to say, you know what? Those people, I'm going to carry on their journey. I'm going to carry on their lessons. I'm going to carry on what they were teaching onto us in the family. And I'm going to give it out to my people, my friends, and my company, and doing these events. So I'm so happy to be here today because, one of the things is it's a beautiful day out. It's been a beautiful day all day, right? And it doesn't have to be sunny to be a beautiful day. I always say make it sunny in your life, no matter what it is. Always make it sunny in your life. Always find that spot in your life throughout your day to say, this is what my life is about. This is what living's about. So many of us are trying to make the bills, or trying to do this, or they're trying to bulk up, or trying to, just create a lifestyle, and they're not living, they're not arriving, they're always thriving. So I'm here to help you guys pull this intelligence, this infinite intelligence out of you, maybe make a shift, but definitely start to redefine your life and put yourself on a path of greatness. So right now, I want to ask you guys a simple question. And anybody, how many of you guys got something to write on right now? Everybody got something to write on? Chris, do we have something we can give them? I'll ask this question while you're waiting for a paper, and you just keep it in your mind. It's real simple. The first question I just want to say is this. What is your life about? And we're going to get into this more, but right now, at this stage, before we get into this conversation, what is your life about right now? And I can't go into detail because we're going to get into that, but we're going to go back to it. So just write down real simple, what is your life about? And this is one of the key formulas, key tools to really start to redefine your life, and that is finding out what your life is about, and then going back and revising that, revisiting that. So let's move right into this funny little display. I know my display looks smaller because Shan's got the huge screen up, but it's okay. I like the old school way. My brother actually put this together for me. He's a cartoonist, so I was like, let's draw some cool stuff. Let's use his talent, right? I want to bring him in the mix. So redefining your life, really fun stuff here. One of the things you need to know about change your life is you need to know where stress comes from. How many of you guys are stressed? Say aye. Aye, okay, all right. Right. I am stressed, all right. The 4 stress factors. We have environmental, physical, nutritional, and emotional. Now, environmental, where do you think that comes from? Where would the stress from environmental come from? Anybody know offhand? The stress from your environment, where could that be? Work, driving. It's where you are daily, right? We're out of work. We're driving. We're in our cars. We're at a home. We're in La La Land. So sometimes the stress is in our environment. It's where we are. It's where we get up. It's where we are coming from or going to, or arriving, whatever. And this is important to know this because you have to separate these 4 stress factors to understand how to find the balance and really redefine your life. Because someone, it just takes a second for you to make a decision to say, you know what, I'm going to get rid of this out of my life and I'm going to start bringing something into it. I'm going to replace that. Now, physical stress. Physical stress, what are some of the things that cause physical stress? Anybody? Work is physical labor, right? What else? Could actually doing good for your body cause physical stress? right? Exactly. And it's not about doing too much. It's just, when you work out, your body's getting big, you're causing the body some stress. Another thing that causes physical stress is disease, dis-ease, lack of flexibility, getting up in the morning and having the pains, How many people roll out of bed and fall to the floor? Anybody? Okay, this morning, right? And how many of you guys actually get out of bed saying, yes, I love my life? Am I the only one? Okay, some days. I like that. Hey, some days. All right. Hey, that's okay. I know my wife, she gets aggravated sometimes because I jump out of bed. I'm like, yes, let's go. Let's do something. It's like, calm down. But see, I'm a ball of energy 24 hours a day. I very rarely do I come down. I'm just all the time. So nutritional stress is the next one. And nutritional stress, it's what you're putting into your body. It's what you're drinking. It's what you're eating. It has a lot to do with your health right here. This is huge. I mean, all these come together in health, but this right here has a huge thing on your health. And we all know about that. We all have seen the foods that we're eating these days, and we're all trying to change some things. What do we do when New Year's comes around? We're going to go on a diet. We change what we eat. We're going to stop doing some of the stuff, okay? So nutritional stress, emotional stress. What causes emotional stress? Anybody? Relationship causes emotional stress. Even if you have the most awesome relationship, man, can that cause emotional stress? Because now you guys go to work and you can't stop thinking about her or him, and then you're like, man, I'm stressed out because I want to be with them 24/7. Okay, if you're at that level, okay, and if you have emotional stress, maybe emotional stress can also come in the form of not having enough. Your thinking, your thoughts. Now, I focus a lot on emotional stress because it comes down to thoughts. And thoughts affect the biochemistry of our body. So if you're telling yourself, I'm no good, I'm nothing, blah, 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 or I'm all stressed out, your body's going to start to operate that way. It's going to start to shut down. If you look in the mirror and you're someone who's got this weight and you're thinking, man, I'm obese, or man, I'm overweight, or man, I'm out of shape. Whatever you're telling yourself, these words that you're saying are so ingrained in your DNA, into the cellular structure of your body. And they're going to say, they have a job to do, and that job is to pay attention to what your brain is doing. So your cells, your body is so amazing, it's so beautiful. So your cells are just running around your body saying, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We're shoving a Twinkie in their mouth. Okay, whatever, it's fine, I love you, but it's fine, we're just going to put this stuff here. Oh, we don't need this, we don't need any of this, let's just get rid of it, or we're going to store it. Maybe we need this later. I'm confused, but it seems to be this person's diet. We're going to stuff this in the fatty tissue, and we're going to use it for later if we ever need to survive, which is right now. We're trying to survive. So and if you're putting in your veggies and your fruits, then your body's like, yes, I know what to do with this. I know what to do with this, because somewhere down the line, within the current generation and the generation before me, and even generations maybe before that, there's been a shift in our DNA, and that shift happened in the emotional stages, in the thought, where people start, your grandparents and their grandparents talked about this healthier living. They started thinking, you know what, we're eating good, we're eating off the land, and yeah, they had meats, okay, so if there were someone that ate meats, the thing is if you look at, like my grandfather, if you ask some of my family members, they'll say he died of cancer. But the same aspect, I don't think he did. He may have had a cancer, but my grandfather was ready to go. He was humbly saying, I'm waiting for the bus, if you will. And, that really made me think, wow, this guy's incredibly strong. But it wasn't even about that. It was like he knew his place in life. But if you look at the fact that cancer didn't kill him, he said, okay, it's time. No one has to wait for a moment like that, and no one has to even come to that stage. They can actually just live a full-out life if they master these areas of stress. But like with my grandfather, the biggest thing is like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, if this guy, his lifestyle, and this is kind of scary, actually, when I started thinking about this. My grandfather died at 79. So artificial additives, preservatives, these sweets, this sugar, this kind of diet, this lifestyle that people have been living has only been in effect for, let's just say, 35, maybe 40 years. Let's just say 35, 40 years. So my grandfather was in his 40s when he picked up this lifestyle. So he had that whole maybe 30, 35 years of not eating healthy. The cheeseburgers, the artificial additives, the water, the drink, the pops, not knowing because, hey, life is great. What's this new thing? No one had to look. Back then, we didn't look at labels. We were like, I trust this, So what's scary is if you look at some of us in this room that are 30, 35, or maybe up, how much of our life, I know me, I'm almost 30, so my whole life has been eating this way. My whole life has been under this nutritional stress. And along with that, I've been on environmental stress because there's some things in the environment we can't control. The radio frequencies that are traveling through your body at this moment that are going to towers, that are going to our cell phones, that are going to different things, We can't control that. Or the physical stress when I was a kid because, maybe I didn't work out enough. No one disciplined me, Not lack of my parents' part, but they didn't teach a lot of this to me. I mean, at least where I was at, that wasn't my game plan. Nutritional stress, we already covered that. My emotional stress was crazy. The news really, for me, the news influenced me. Turn on the news as you're a kid, you see these crazy things going on. You think it's in your backyard. Because when you're a kid, what is your backyard? It's your world. Man, I used to play some ball. It was my football stadium, a baseball stadium. My backyard was all I knew. And then we went to school, and that was like yard school. And then you got vacation to like Tennessee or somewhere outside, and now it's yard, Tennessee school. You got a little bit of expansion. And then as you get older, you start to realize the United States. Your mind expands. Then you realize the world, the universe. And you're like, wow, I'm just a speck. I'm just a speck on this planet. I'm just a speck in this universe. And what's the same thing is like, if you look at it, we have to know these areas of stress because even though you are a speck, you're so important to life because we are this speck on the planet. We are this speck in the universe. And we're letting these 4 things affect us. Like, come on, we're more sophisticated than that. We've come way more in our, in our culture, in our generations to suffer from something like this. We've been up way worse than this. So this is real simple. We need to get to know the stress factors and get rid of this. So I would say your environment. Clean up your environment. Don't have clutter in your house. Because that could be stressful. You get home and you start, you're already whooped from the job and you're worked out and you come here and you have this clutter everywhere. So then you look at the clutter and you're thinking, man, I got to clean this up, don't I? I'll just put off till tomorrow. And then more clutter stacks up. So clean up your environment. That's the only thing I could really focus on is clean up your environment because that's what you can control. You can't go around and turn off towers, tell people to turn their cell phone off. Okay, you just can't. I mean, it's just we're so technologically savvy now that all this stuff is going on. So we got to just control what we can do. Now, physical stress, I love this part. How many of you guys are physically active? Raise your hand. Say aye. Aye. How many people think that they can do way more than what they're doing right now? Say aye. Aye. All right. That's good. Physical stress. We don't want to have that. We're going to turn this into physical activity, so we're getting rid of that physical stress. We're going to be putting ourselves under a little bit of stress by working out. But man, that's a good way because that'll actually counteract some of the other stuff going on. But you can't just be physical and not have a nutritional. I mean, can you eat a ho-ho and then go run on a treadmill? You probably can, but are you going to crash? You're going to feel sick? It's probably not going to be good. You might have you might start the treadmill at speed 7 or 8, but you're not going to be able to last very long on that because you're going to be so hyped up. And then emotional stress, that's important. Every day you get up, and it's not about lying to yourself saying your life is great when it's not. It's about saying, you know what, I know things in my life aren't where I want them to be, but I can start to focus on where I want to go and bypass all this craziness and just start telling myself, you know what, even though this isn't, I'm not there yet or I don't have this in my life yet, I'm grateful for everything that I have and I love my life. Why do I love my life? Because I'm alive today. Today is the best day of my life. I want you guys to say that right now. Today is the best day of my life. Just say it to yourself right now. Today is the best day of my life, right? Today is the best. Right. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it there, right? Today, yeah, it's the best day of my life. All right, right. But honestly, that's okay. That's how I was at first. Well, sort of, but that's how I was at first. I was like, really? Because where that concept came from is when I was hanging out in Florida with a lot of Jamaican friends. They're like, everyday good, man. I'm like, yeah, everyday good. Oh, okay, everyday good, man. And then I just started picking up on that. I'm like, hey, every day's good, And it's not just because I was in Florida either. Okay? It's every day's good. So let me move on.